coordinate geometry. So basically, what is coordinate geometry? What is the purpose of coordinate geometry? In mathematics, there are two main branches. One is algebra and the other one is geometry. Okay? One is algebra and the other one is geometry. If there is a connection, there is a bridge between this algebra and geometry, then the difficult situations of geometry get simplified using algebra, as well as difficult situations of algebra get simplified using geometry. That's the idea of mathematicians. So they developed a bridge between algebra and geometry, and that is basically coordinate geometry. Okay? And this is also known as algebraic geometry. Why? Because we are dealing geometry algebraically as well as dealing algebra with geometry, and that's why we call it as algebraic geometry. As well as here we will deal geometry in an analytical way. Analytical skill in the sense calculative skill. Okay, so here we will deal geometry. Usually we use logical skill to solve the problems of geometry. We use analytical skill to solve the problems of algebra. But when you combine these two, analytical skills are helpful to solve geometry again, and that's why we are calling it as analytical geometry. Okay, and here see, as a conversion between algebra and geometry, we will use two parameters, two numbers, two terms. So coordinates, each one is called as an ordinate, and since there are two, we are calling it as coordinate geometry. And this connection between geometry and algebra is proposed by the mathematician René Descartes. René Descartes, okay, he is the hero behind this coordinate geometry. René Descartes developed the basic connection between geometry and algebra as per his name, Cartes. We call it as Cartesian geometry. Okay, some people may call it as Cartesian coordinate geometry. Okay, so all are same: algebraic geometry, analytical geometry, coordinate geometry, Cartesian geometry, Cartesian coordinate geometry, all are same, and that is coordinate geometry. Here we will deal geometry with algebraically and algebra with geometrically. Okay, see, I will give you one simple example. Dealing algebra with geometry is simply nothing but sketching the graphs. For suppose, I think you are aware about the quadratic. For suppose y is equals to x square. If you take y is equals to x square, it is algebra, quadratic expression. X is a variable, y is a variable, y is equals to x square is a expression, equation in terms of two variables. And when you sketch the graph of this y is equals to x square, we are converting this y is equal to x square like an upward parabola. I think many of you know about the basic sketch of this y is equal to x square. This is algebra, and the geometric representation of this algebraic equation is the graph, that is geometry. So sketching the graphs is simply nothing but converting algebraic equations into geometry. Okay, and the same way, when we have a geometric situation, we will convert into algebra also, right? So to convert from geometry to algebra, algebra to geometry, René Descartes first connects the basic fundamental item of algebra as well as the basic fundamental item of geometry. If there is a connection between those two fundamental items, terms of algebra and geometry, then it is easy to connect each and every aspect of geometry into algebra, algebra into geometry. That is the idea of René Descartes. And what is the fundamental term or fundamental item of algebra? The fundamental item of algebra is simply nothing but variable. Okay, whereas the fundamental item of geometry is simply nothing but point. Okay, point is the fundamental term of geometry. Variable or variables, you may say, these are the fundamental items of algebra. So if there is a connection between variables and point, that idea of connecting this variable and point is helpful in extending in connecting every aspect of algebra into geometry. That's the idea of Rene Descartes. With this idea, he is going to connect variables and point. Okay, that's we are going to discuss in the next point. Just have a look. This is the first one. Okay, I am erasing this. Go for a screenshot if need. Okay. Next one. See, second one. So the second one is what? Second one is simply connecting point algebra into geometry, geometry into algebra, in the sense connecting point with variables is the basic idea of coordinate geometry, and this idea is the idea of Rene Descartes, okay, and which is very helpful in modern mathematics, in today's mathematics and everything, okay. So how to connect point and variables? First of all, you need to think about points. Where you will get points? This space is completely mixed up of points, right? And basically, what is a point? Do you know anything about the point? So point is simply nothing but location of a specific place. Very, very specific. Because the place is very, very specific, we will say that location of a very, very minute place. Okay, that is basically point. Where you will get the points? So Rene Descartes observed these points in the plane. For suppose if you treat this board as a plane, on this part of the plane, all are points. Since there are many points on this board, on this plane, on the paper, on the floor, in the space, Rene Descartes thought that, so we need to connect this point to a variable, that in a sense we need to give address for the points, because point is just a location, right? So you need to locate the point on the plane. Locating point on the plane is bit complicated because plane is endlessly extending in all the directions. So Rene Descartes thought that it is helpful if you divide the plane into different parts, okay, and he tried to divide the plane into different parts, and he developed a system, and we call that system as coordinate system. Coordinate system helps us in connecting point with variable. So according to Rene Descartes, the coordinate system is simply nothing but dividing the plane into different parts using two number lines which are arranged perpendicularly at one point, and we call that point as origin. Okay, and this horizontal number line in the sense, on this line we have numbers with equal spaces in between them, and this horizontal number line is usually considered as x-axis. Okay, right side of it is positive, left side of it is negative, I think you know. So indicate it as x and it as x dash, and the vertical number line is the y-axis. Above the line it is positive numbers, and below the line negative numbers with equal spaces between them. So indicate them as y, and it is y dash. So totally, first of all, Rene Descartes divided the total plane into different parts using two number lines which are arranged perpendicularly. Okay, now we have different parts. Okay, so you call them as, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we call these parts as quadrants. We call the parts as what? Quadrants. So totally how many quadrants are there? We call this as the quadrant 1, and it has the quadrant 2, this is the quadrant 3, and this is the quadrant 4. This is the usual notation. Okay, everybody have to follow the same notation: quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. And then these are the axes. Okay, along with the quadrants we have axes. The number lines are simply nothing but the axes. See, positive x, negative x, positive y, and negative y. There are 4 axes also. There are 4 quadrants. There are 4 axes. Okay, it's depending on the attitude of the person. Some people may call 2 axes, x-axis and y-axis. Some people may call positive x, positive y, and negative y, like that we say. Okay, quadrants, axis, and one more thing is the origin. This origin is simply nothing but the point of intersection of those two number lines. Okay, so the point of intersection of the two number lines is the origin. And why we are calling it as origin? Because it originates every point of the plane. It originates every point of the plane. How it originates every point of the plane? That we will discuss in the next point. Okay, origin is going to originate every point of the plane. It will originating in the sense it will generate. Origin is a reference to generate every point of the plane. Origin is a reference to give location or address for every point of the plane, and that's why we are calling it as origin. Okay, in first point I mentioned that Rene Descartes just constructed the bridge between algebra and geometry, and his idea is first of all to connect points with the variables. So in a second point we mentioned that to connect the points with the variables, first of all we need to collect the points where we will have points on the plane, and so Rene Descartes divide the total plane into 4 parts. Okay, see, using 2 number lines he divided into different parts. This is second point, and in the next point we are going to discuss how to locate a point, how origin originates every point of the plane. That's what we are going to discuss in the third point. Have a look. So just have a look, third point, which is simply location of points. Location of points in the sense we need to give address for the points. For suppose if I have a point A here, and that A is from origin. We are, as I mentioned to you in the previous point, origin will originate every point. See, this A from origin at a distance of 3 units along x-axis. So since it is at a distance of 3 units along x-axis, so the first number is 3 of the first number of the address is 3, and it is at a distance of 2 units from y-axis. So the second number of the address is 2. Okay, so then we will say that the address or the location of the point is 3, 2, because the distance of the point A from the origin along x-axis is 3 and from the origin along y-axis is 2, so it is 3, 2. Whereas coming to the second example, for suppose if here it is P the point and here it is O, the distance of the point from origin along x-axis, now it is 3 units, and along y-axis now it is 3.5 units. See, the distance is 3 and 3.5, but here the distance 3 units is left side of the x-axis, is in the negative direction of x-axis, so we need to consider the first number as -3, and since it is below y-axis and it is in the negative direction of y-axis, so we need to consider it as -3.5. So to address a point, to locate a point, what we need? To locate a point like some x comma y. Okay, x is the first number and y is the second number. See, this x and y are simply nothing but the distances from origin to the point. Along x-axis is x, along y-axis is y, and depending on the direction of the distance we use plus or minus sign. Okay, and this x is usually mentioned as x coordinate, whereas this y is considered as y coordinate, and this x is also termed as abscissa of the point, another name for x coordinate, and this y is also termed as ordinate. So at the end, ordinate of a point is y coordinate, the second number. Abscissa of the point is the x coordinate, which is the first number, and I am just mentioning, I am not writing here. Abscissa is what and ordinate is what? X coordinate or abscissa is the distance of any point from origin along x-axis. Okay, this is the point, this is the origin. The distance from this origin to the point along this x-axis is the x coordinate, and along this y-axis is the y coordinate, and that x coordinate and y coordinate are depending on the direction also, and that's why, for suppose if we have a point, any point like p x comma y, the distance of this point P from the origin along x-axis is just the magnitude of that x. See, the magnitude of x means we need to take it as a modulus of x. Okay, see here it is -3 and it is -3.5. Since x coordinate is -3, but the distance along x-axis is just 3, how it happens? Because we need to apply modulus for -3, then only you will get 3. That 3 can be written as modulus of -3 also. This 3 or this 3 also can be written as modulus of 3, because their x coordinate is 3, right? So just don't get confused, okay? While writing the point, you need to use the direction. So according to the direction, you just give plus or minus signs. But while calculating the distance, since the distance is always positive, you need to use modulus sign. Okay. So at the end, if a point is px comma y, then the distance of the point px comma y from origin along x-axis is modulus of x, and the distance of the p from origin along y-axis is modulus of y, and this modulus of y is the distance along y-axis, and also people may call it as distance from point to x-axis. This is x-axis, right? Distance from point to x-axis or along y-axis to x-axis, both are similar terms, right? And both the values are modulus of y. In the same way, along x-axis to y-axis, both are equals to modulus of x. Okay, you need to go with a little bit practice, then you will get a clear idea about all these things. Okay, have a look. And the next point, I will discuss the general points in each and every parts of the coordinate system. So just have a look. General points in coordinate system. As we discussed, this is the coordinate system. Okay, and as I mentioned you, this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4. Okay, I need to give you the general form of the points in each and every quadrant, and as I mentioned you, this is origin. First of all, you just think about the general points. General points, I mean, see, general points, I mean, yeah, coordinates. I am going to discuss the coordinate form. Okay, coordinates of the points, right? Yeah, first of all, you just think about the origin. See, for origin, the coordinates are simply nothing but 0, 0. Why? Because just we define that px comma y. Okay, for suppose if you have a point px comma y, as I mentioned, this x is distance from origin along x-axis. Okay, distance from O to P along x-axis. I mentioned it as distance from O to P along x-axis. O is fixed, okay, and this y coordinate is nothing but O to P along y-axis. So as per these distances, we will locate x and y. But if you wishing to locate the coordinates of origin to origin, see, P is any point. P is the required point actually to locate. Now we are going to locate origin. So the reference itself is the origin. So there is no movement along x-axis from that origin. There is no movement along y-axis from that origin. So we will consider that origin as 0, 0. Okay, and this is the basic definition of the point. Now in quadrant 1, if you take any point, see, we are moving in the right side and then we are moving in the opposite. So x coordinate is positive, y coordinate is also positive. Whereas if you move, see, if you are thinking about the quadrant 2, if you move it left, we are moving left side as well as we are moving upward. So x coordinate is negative, y coordinate is positive. You just locate any point in this quadrant, always that x coordinate is negative and y coordinate is positive. And whereas if you think about the third quadrant, see, this is the negative direction of x, this is the negative direction of y, so both the coordinates are negative. And in the fourth quadrant, right side of x, so x positive, downside of y, so y negative. These are the general form of the points, right? And then this is x-axis, as we know. You just take any point on x-axis. Any point on x-axis is of the format a comma 0. Why? Because a comma 0. See, if you take a point here, there is distance from this origin to this point along x-axis, but there is no distance along y-axis. See, if this is your point, there is no vertical movement, and so y coordinate is 0. Okay, as well as if you take a point on the y-axis, then its location is 0, B. On x-axis, for every point, its y coordinate is 0. On y-axis, for every point, its x coordinate is 0. That is the task. Okay, so you may have some simple problems also. For suppose the question asks you like that: find a if, or you may say a minus 1 comma or you may say a plus 1 comma a minus 2 in Q4. we need to find out the values of A if the point A plus 1 comma A minus 2 is in Q4. So A plus 1 comma A minus 2 is in Q4. Q4 means what? Quadrant 4. In quadrant 4, what is the general form? In quadrant 4, x coordinate is positive, y coordinate is negative. That in the sense A plus 1 must be greater than 0, and this A minus 2, since it is negative, must be less than 0. Because in fourth quadrant, x positive, y negative. A plus 1 positive, A minus 2 negative. From there we will conclude that A is greater than minus 1. From this is A is less than 2. So since the point is there in Q4, these two together must happen. So A greater than minus 1 and A less than 2, on a combination we say that minus 1 less than A less than 2 are the possible values of A. So if you know the general form of the points, the general way of addressing a point, it is easy to answer these type of questions. Have a look.